The next Mamer, this is the 35th Mamer in Shir Hashirim, that begins with the words, Mayofu פעמיך בנעלים. How beautiful are your feet in the shoes, chulu. This is talking about, is going to bring down from the Gemara that this is referencing when the Yidden used to go up by foot. They used to wear shoes to go up to Oile Regel 3 times a year. In Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot, Sholosh Regolim, they used to go up, and that is how beautiful your feet in the shoes in the Aliyah Regel, because at that time we had a tremendous experience because we were able to see Yeiroeh, we were able to see Hashem. Hashem sees us and we see Hashem. But the Alter Rebbe will explain in the Maimer that be'emesin we don't have today Sholosh Regolim. And the reason we have Sholosh Regolim is because it's Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Today, we don't have a Beis HaMikdash, so we don't have the physical experience of 3 times a year. So we basically have the Sholosh Regolim, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, every day bunched up in the Tefillah, in the Shemoneh Esrei, when we daven. In our davening, when we daven every day, we also go up to visit as Pnei Hashem Elekecha. But instead of only doing it 3 times a year, we do it every day. Because in our davening, we include part from Avraham, part of Yitzchak, and part of Yaakov, as he will explain. Let's look inside. Hine, Amr Razal. Our sages tell us that this is in Soif Perik Dalet the Sukkah on Daf Mem Tes Amud Beis, and in the first Perik Kama de Chagiga, and the first Perik of Chagiga, which is on Daf Gimel Amud Aleph. Shehaposuk Hazeh Nemar Al Knesses Yisrael B'Sho Shehoyu Oilim L'Regel. This posuk was said about the gathering of Yidden at the time they would go up for the Yom Tov, the Aliyah L'Regel. Everybody would go up to Yerushalayim, to the Beis HaMikdash. Like the pasuk says, Sholish pa'amim bashono yero chulu es pnei Hashem elikecha. 3 times a year, you should go and see es pnei Hashem elikecha. Ta'ato mishachor Beis HaMikdash, and now, once the Beis HaMikdash is destroyed, so we don't have the physical opportunity to go up. It's tefillah b'mokim korban. The prayer, the davening, takes place instead of the korban. The tefillah is b'mokim korban. It says, shebechinas yero es pnei Hashem elikecha. That level to see the face of God, your God, who ato b'tefillah, now it's during the davening. Rak. So oz hoya hashros hashchina lemato b'mokim gashmi. Then, when there was the Beis HaMikdash, you had the resting of the Shechina below in a physical space. The pasuk says, "Va'osu li migdash." Make for me a sanctuary and I will dwell there. So we had a physical manifestation of the Kedusha of the Migdash of Hashem in a physical place. And therefore, Lazeh Hoya Oz B'Yischalkus. And that's why it was separated, Gimel Zmanim. It divided into 3 times. We had Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot. And this corresponded, Neged, Gimel Avos, corresponding to the 3 forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. That's why we had 3 separate Yomim Tovim, in which we would see the Shekhinah one corresponding to Avraham, one's Yaakov. But now during the davening, now it's in a spiritual way. It's not no longer physical. It's without separation. Because every davening is included from the three levels of Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. In the davening, we have all three levels. Because the davening was instituted by the forefathers. What it means, it was instituted, that means in the davening we have the avos put themselves in there. There are some verses in the davening that come from the level of Avraham, which is Bechinas Ha'ava, which is level of love. That's some. V'yesh Mibchinas Yira. Some psukim are level of awe, fear. V'yesh Mibchinas Yaakov Mishdas Harachmanus. And some is from Yaakov the measure of compassion. Like the pasuk says, Ato Hashem leislichra rachamecha mimeni. So this is a prayer to Hashem for rachmanis, for compassion. So we have Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. So I guess Avram says obvious. You have Avram, you have Chesed, you have Avram, you have Yira. But here we also have the level of rachmanis. So if Dibra Hamaschil Tzav has been a Yisrael Chulu, Gabei lahakriv li b'moyadoi. V'hinei ksiv koi omar Hashem liYaakov asher podas Avraham. So says Hashem to Yaakov. Yaakov actually redeemed Avraham. Avraham's midah is chesed, is ava, but Hashem says to Yaakov, the pasuk says, Yaakov compassion redeems Avraham. Why? Kihine iker habakoshos harachamim b'shtei broches shelifnei krishma. The main request for compassion is in the two broches that come before Shema. We're asking Hashem for compassion for our godly spark. We're asking for Rahmanes on the godly spark within us. She'ein lonu ava v'yira machmas heder ha'hizbonus. We don't love and we don't fear Hashem because of the lack of meditation, lack of reflection. We don't do that, so we don't have Rahmanis. It's Hashem should have compassion. Ki b'chinas bina hu hamoilid ava v'yira. Because bina, when you meditate, if there is his bonus, then you would have the level of Ava v'yira. So we're asking Hashem for Rahmanis. We should be able to reflect. We should have these bonus by davening. That's why we ask like this. So what do we say at the bracha? We say, Rachem Aleinu v'sein b'libeinu bina. Have compassion on us. That's the level of Rahmanis. Put in our hearts that bina, that understanding. What is bina? To understand one item from the other item. In other words, look around in the world and see Hashem in the world, and then you will understand from that how Hashem is in charge over everything. That's the bina to bring about the Ava v'yira. Hainu lihizboidinus b'yishavos ma'ayin liyesh. That is to reflect on Hashem's creation from ex nihilo, from nothing, into existence. Eich shekol briyas ha'olam hu b'dibur echad kaviyachol. The whole creation of the world is just with one utterance, one saying, so to speak. Kamesha Kosov, like the pasuk says, Bidvar Havaya Chulu Shemayim Nasu, that the world became through the Dvar Hashem. Ukemaimer Azal, as our sages of blessed memory said, the Maimer Echad Yochel Lihiboris. The world can be created just with one saying. It was able to create it, meaning that there is a level of the value of the word of all of the creation of the world is like one dibur. With one dibur, he can create this everything. So that shows on the insignificance of all of the world that just one dibur creates them all. You can look it from your flesh, the way it works by the person. Shall be Odom, like for example, by a person, Shadibur Echad Batul Legabe Mahusa Nefesh, Okelo Mamesh Chashive. That one word is totally nullified, has no value if you compare it to the essence of the soul. Essence of the soul. What does one word have value? Kula mamash chashivi, that's considered like nothing. Likewise above. All of the worlds, the upper worlds and the lower worlds. Heim, it says with a chof, kidi burachot or bidi burachot.
Kidi burachot, 1 second. What do you?
Bidi burachot or kidi burachot?
Base.
Base, okay. That's what it says. That's what it says. It was all created from one dibur of the Eibishter. The Maimer Echad Yochel Boris. And because it was created with one dibur, Kulam Kilo Mamish Chashive Lagabe Atzmusi Yizborech. It's all considered like nothing next to the Atzmus blessing. So that's the reflection, that's bino lahavin dover, the saying bilibenu bino. Umei arichus hahizbonenus hanal, from the great lengthy reflection of the above, nildo midas ava. Then you come to the level of ava, which is b'chinas Abraham. V'acharkach, and once you come to ava, Abraham Hel Yitzchak Chulu, you come to the level of bin. And then we say weiter in the davening v'loy nevosh le'olam vod. When it comes the time of le'olam vod, the time of forever, we should not be embarrassed then. Should not be ashamed. While in this world, we don't realize the shame of being preoccupied with all the materialism, we don't realize it. But le'olam v'ed, pirush le'olam v'ed. What does it mean when we say here le'olam v'ed? Sha'ah yiyeh oz hizgalus elikus. Then there will be a revelation of godliness, k'meshekosu, like the pasuk says, v'niglo kovedavaye v'ro kavosar chulu. The glory of Hashem will be revealed so that all flesh would see. Oz yiyeh habusha le'olam vod. Then the shame will be forever. What does it mean? Oz yiyeh habusha le'olam vod. That's when the bush is going to be in le'olam vod. Al Maisa, what is it going to be ashamed for? Al Maisa is lom hazeh hakoshim veroim. For our actions in this world, which are hard, difficult and bad, in a way that we're an entity separated totally. The be'emes ani abaye loishen. Truth, Hashem, I have not changed. Begam ato ein dover mastir l'negdo yizborich. Also now, there's nothing that blocks Hashem. Yato wachale nivra olam ba'atu mishanivruchul. Ulezehi habusha lo'olam void. That's why in the olam void, in the time forever, Yemesa Mashiach or L'Osid Lovei, it's going to be a great shame. So this is what we're asking Hashem to have Rachmanis on us so that we should be able to reflect, and we should have the level of Bina. Through the level of Bina, we can reflect and meditate and come to the level of Abba V'yira and the realization that all of the world has no comparison, has no value relative to Hashem. Base. Amru Razal, our sages tell us that sandal is the name of a malach. That this sandal, koisher kisorim lekoinoi mitfilos saying shel Yisrael. He ties these crowns to his koinoi, to Hashem, from the prayers of the Yidden. He brings the lashon, the sandal over here, because we're using the posik mayofu pamayich banaolim. Your feet in the shoes, in the now. He wants to bring down what is the idea of this now, because now and sandal are basically one and the same. Sandal is the interpretation of now. Hine l'shoin ha-Gemara nikra sandal. In the Gemara language, that's called a sandal, a shoe. Nolin. He brings the parenthesis. When it says shal ne'olecha by Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem tells him shal ne'olecha me'al raglecha. So what is the translate? Targum Yerushalmi. He says sandalach. Remove your sandal. So you see that nolecha is sandalecha. And then further it says in the Navi, it says v'hidrich ban olim. So Vadir Tirgem Yonason, Vadir Yonason translates it bisan dalim. So you see, basically, it just proves that the word now is associated with the sandalim. Uveshoina mikro nikro now. That's why it's called the now. So anyway, so what is the now? What is the shoe? Hu hachoife as roiv haregel. He is the one that hovers and covers majority of the foot. V'hu hakoisher kisorim mitfilos shel Yisrael. He is the one that ties these crowns from the prayers of Yidden. What prayers? So he says mitfilos hu b'chinas shmoyne esrei. That means the 18 brachas. Ki kol habakoshes sheb'shmoyne esrei. For all the various requests that we ask the Shemona Esrei, we say Chaneinu mi'itcha chulu, grace us from you, Ugoleinu, redeem us chulu, Refaenu chulu, heal us. He says, Hu habakoshes li shinui harotze. We're asking Hashem to change His will. This is higher than Torah. We're asking Hashem to do more and different than what the level of Torah, what justice demands. We're saying to Hashem, change it from the level of Torah. Because Torah comes from Chochmah. And there's a certain accountability, there's a certain seder, there's an order, there's judgment, there's law. The way the world runs is according to the law of the Torah. As we say, ki ein yisurim below oven. There's no pain if there's no sin. So if there is pain, that means there's a sin. That's the order. That's the Torah. That's the rule. Also, why are we so long, this length of the Golus? For sure, this is the law of the Torah. So, Chokhmah, the Torah, justifies all what's going on. What are we asking in Shemona Esrei? So that's why we ask Hashem, Sheyiyeh Shinui Rotzein Lemailo Mibchinas HaRotzein Hanimshach B'HaTorah D'Mechochma Nafkes. That's why we're asking Hashem to change the Rotzein, to go higher than that Rotzein which comes in Torah, that comes from Chochmah. I know that is Sheyumshach Mebchinas Baal Harotzin. We should get to the level of the Baal Harotzin, the master Rotzin, to the higher level than the Rotzin. He talks about the two Bechinas. In order we should be able to daven the Shemona Esrei asking Hashem, first, we need to make close Geula to the davening. We say Baruch Atah Hashem Goal Yisrael, and then we daven Shemona Esrei. First, we need to be Somer Geula Tefillah. What does it mean to be Somer Geula Tefillah? Hu b'chinas mesiras nefesh shebekriya Shema. When we have the level of self-sacrifice, which we do in the Shema, when we say Shema Yisrael, that's the level of mesiras nefesh. And then we can be masmech gula and ask Hashem to change the rotzen to begin to daven. Pirush Shema. What does Shema mean? Uloshin, his boininess. It's a matter of reflection. We're reflecting on what? How Hashem, who's our God, is really Havad one. Bechinas Achdus Poshut, he is simple unity. That the Chol Ha'ilomis, Eibishter is one and only, and there's nothing else besides him, because all the worlds, they're just in one word, one utterance, and they are considered like nothing relative to Musa, Atzmusi, the essence, and his blessed Atzmus, as mentioned before. And when you have this deep contemplation, Barichas Kinal, at length, as we said before, in the reflecting meditation, as I nichsefo v'gam kol son nafshi liyos nichlal b'atzmusa yizbarich. So then your soul yearns and your soul expires. You want to be included in the blessed Atzmus. As we say in the Pasuk, mi li bashamayim v'imcha lo chafatzti ba'oretz. What is there for me in the heavens? And anything that is with you, I have no desire in the land. What does this mean? Pirush, v'imcha. What does it mean? What is with you? He doesn't want anything v'imcha. That is afilu kol ha'oireis el yonim. Even the greatest of lights, gavoya mal gavoya, higher than the one higher. There's tremendous amount of levels of greatnesses over there. So even that, all these levels, loy chafatzti, he has no desire. He doesn't want none of the levels of above. Ayin Mashakosuf Save Dibra Maskil Kikore Velecha Hadov. Rak Likolil Ba'atzmusei Umusi Yisbarach. All what he wants is to be included in the blessed Atzmus Emuhus. Bechinas Agdus Pashut, in the level of simple unity. How is he going to accomplish that? V'hainu al yidei, further that it says, V'hoyu hadvorim ha'ela asher aneichi mitzavcha. These words that I command you, through the words of Torah, Shuhu al yidei his kashrus machshavte v'diburei Torah, by tying your thought and your speech in Torah, liyes dvar havaye diberboy, so that there should be the extent that the word Hashem speaks to you, through you. Like you say, va'osim dvarai beficha, my words I place in your mouth. As the sages say, elu ve'elu divrei elekim Chaim. These are the words of the living God. And then you come to the section with Kriyash Maksiv, Savta de Gonecha. Savta de Gonecha, you should gather the grain. Ru Maisa Tzedakah. Chulu. That's the act of Tzedakah. Torah, in the first parsha, when he says Borim Ha'ila, and then Asafta de Gonecha, that's Tzedakah. Vayidei Mesiras Nefesh Bekrishma. Now, through the level of Mesiras Nefesh of Kriyashma, Shehu Lemailo Memchinas HaTorah, that is higher than the level of Torah. Kimevuer Bekama Mekoimes. The level of Kriyashma, which is higher than Torah, as explained in many places. The Gemara also hinted, it says, Yesh koine ilamoy b'sha achas. Person can acquire his world. Shah achas means 1 hour, but here it means in one turn. Shah Miloshin Vayisha, that Hashem turned, one turn. Chulu al yidei. So that means that learning Torah takes a long time. But Mesiras Nefesh, when Rabbi Lezer ben Durdaya, Bochar Rebbe, was crying when he saw that he did tshuva, even though that means at one moment through tshuva, Mesiras Nefesh, when he died, he died with Mesiras Nefesh, so he acquired his world. It takes a whole lifetime to acquire it, but he was able to do it because Mesiras Nefesh is in a higher level. So when we have the introduction of the Shema, then we can daven Shmoyne Esrei, there should be a change of Rotzen higher than Torah. Aposik Achasi Yenosi Tamosi Te'oi Mosi, my twin corresponding. Ach, however, our thoughts and our speech and the davening, Ugashmi, is a physical. How could it arouse above the B'chinas Rotzin to the level of Rotzin Kesed Elyon? How could it go to the Kesed Elyon? From the physical to the level of Kesed, Yidei HaMalach Sandal, that is through the angel Sandal. HaMekabel Tfilah Shel Yisrael, he receives the davenings of the Yidden. Umafshiton Migashmius LeRuchnius, he stretches them, undresses them from physical to spiritual. The Kosher Kesorim Chulu, and he ties the crowns for Hashem to the spiritual level. V'ayin Mashakosu Mizeh B'dibra Maskil Ner Chanukah Chulu Mezuzah Mimin, B'dibra Maskil Tzav as Bnei Yisrael as Korboni va'ayin bezoyar Parshas B'Shalach Minches Aleph and Vayishlach Kupsayim Zayin Beis and Teitze Reish Ayin Ches Aleph. V'hinei Inyan B'china Sandal V'Nal Hanal. Understand the idea of the sandal. Tzarich Lav in Tchila Inyan Hishtal Shalus Ha'elamas.